And this is Tea Time Disc Golf, and we're back with the 2018 World Championships at Smuggler's Notch. We are going to be playing the Brewster Ridge course, round 2, part 1. That is the Discraft-sponsored course for this weekend's events. We're going to start off the round following Barry Schultz, Josh Anthon, Paul Ulibarri, and Seppo Paju. Dan Brooks-Wells is with me. How are you doing today, Dan?
I'm doing great, Steve. Excited to be here.
So Josh Anthon, obviously representing California, one of the best putters in the world. Everybody knows who Josh Anthon is. So we're excited to do some coverage and follow him. One of my friends, Paul Ulibarri, very exciting to see him on the card. He plays for Prodigy. And then we have Seppo Paju, who is from Finland, who is an amazing golfer himself. Dan, we're going to start on hole number 1. Walk us through hole 1 and what happens here.
Yeah, so on hole number 1, if you have a good flick, that's usually the option people are going to go with. Otherwise, you'll take most likely a mid-range and throw a little turnover down the center.
Yeah, I mean, there's only one gap here. You know, you've got to hit that
Absolutely.
middle gap, and this is one of the easier par 3s on the course. I think that everyone steps up to this saying, all right, you know, we can get a good start here, get our birdie in, and start the round off strong. So we'll see how these guys fare down the fairway here. But loving these red baskets, though. I love the fact that you can see them through the trees, and very nice. I haven't seen a lot of spit throughs. They catch extremely nice, so pretty happy with the play on these baskets this weekend so far.
Yeah, absolutely. That third interlink chain really catches them well.
So we got Barry. Barry's no stranger to woods golf, so he should fare pretty well out here, being from the land of tight woods in North Carolina. What a fantastic shot. Put himself inside the circle.
Yeah, you can see how he flipped over that mid-range, rode nicely to the right.
Josh throwing the same style shot. He's going to throw a mid-range on a backhand, and he's going to end up right next to Barry or close.
Absolutely parked.
A really good shot. Paul Ulibarri is representing Utah, and what a really good-looking line.
Really got it to fade nicely back.
That looked like it was headed towards the basket for a minute.
Seems like Seppo is going for the same shot.
Yeah, they're all taking that backhanded turnover shot, which is kind of surprising in this day and age. You see a lot of people flicking. I'm surprised that we didn't see one, at least out of Paul. I know that Paul has a pretty good flick. Just a little bit high out of Paul. And Seppo from about 20 feet. I think that Anthon and Barry are about the same distance. They were sitting at about 20 feet, so we'll see if these guys can't start off with some good putting, get the round going. Josh, one of the best putters in the world. I would be very surprised if he doesn't make this.
Yeah, fully expected him to make that there. Very nice.
And then we've got Barry. These guys have such a good routine with their putting, and
Yeah, that's one thing you see about those top pros. They really go through the same routine every time they step up.
And Paul's going to clean up his par, so good start out of 3 out of the 4. Paul obviously would like to have that putt back, but I'm sure that he will be just okay. And look at Seppo, yeah, just a good putt out of him. He's going to be dead center. I remember seeing something about his yard out back and all the practice baskets and stuff that he had. So I expect him to hit a lot of putts. So hole number 2, we're going to get into a tough one. It's an uphill hole. You've got to hit the right landing area about halfway up this fairway, so where you can actually have a good line to get to the basket. It's a very hard hole if you end up too far to the left off the tee here.
Yeah, it's very tricky. It's more uphill than it looks. You really want to end up on the right side of the fairway, but it's hard to get a backhand up and to the right.
And you got to be careful because you have OB, the white stakes that line that rock wall all the way up. So really the left-hand side is a safer side, yet if you get stuck on the left-hand side, you don't have an approach up to the basket. So you're going to see a lot of people scrambling to get up to get their birdie chance here. So we'll see how these guys fare on this hole. I mean, it really is all about the placement off the tee.
And that's where that bad kick can come into play and shoot you right over the OB wall.
Yeah, he is not going to be happy with that result. And Josh with a good-looking shot. If that just can skip past that tree, he's ideal.
Absolutely beautiful position.
Yeah, he's in an ideal position to be able to attack the basket on his second shot. Seppo low. Got a decent skip out of that. He's going to have a big second shot to get up near the basket.
Paul just ripping a hyzer flip up the hill. Skipping it to the right.
Oh, wow.
That's in a great position as well.
Yeah, he's going to have a nice open shot. Barry obviously not in a very good spot, not very good footing. You know, to boot with going out of bounds, his footing is off.
Really wants to get through that gap.
Yeah, he did a great job. He's actually going to have a good line.
So there you can see he was kind of pinched off on his angle. Just really wanted to get up, probably for a circle 2 putt.
Yeah, he should be able to get up and down and save par from there. Not ideal. He was pretty far away. Paul with just rips a forehand up there and ends up inside the circle. What a fantastic shot.
This hole really complements the flick game once you can get up into that gap.
And here's Josh. He's going to go to the forehand as well. Get off those trees, but he's going to be well inside the circle as well. Great shot by Josh. He's maybe 15 feet.
Really well done. I'm sure that's just how he drew it up.
Barry throwing low, hoping to get a skip.
Just outside circle 1.
So here's Seppo. He's got a pretty basic forehand shot to get up and down, and he does just that. He puts it right underneath the basket. And this is a great putt by Barry. He's right in that range where you see him make those, but what a good bogey save by him. That could have been certainly one stroke worse. And Paul with a great birdie. Played that hole extremely well. That forehand upshot was amazing.
Really well done. I mean, even with his footing on that second shot, he was able to rifle it up.
It's good to pick up that birdie after missing hole 1. He wanted to bounce back with a birdie here. And Josh is going to get his birdie as well with a good putt and a great forehand himself to get up there.
Just making it look really easy.
Yep. And Seppo will settle for par. Hole number 3 is going to be, again, one of those holes that the pros are going to step up to and say, this is where I can score well on the course. This is a birdie that I want to get. You can attack this hole in many different ways. You're going to see forehands. You're going to see backhands. So, you know, we'll see what these guys do. But, again, this is a hole that is not too far. It's 325 feet to the basket. It is sitting up, elevated just a little bit, so it is a tricky putt if you are circle's edge or just outside the circle. But I fully expect to see a lot of birdies on this hole.
Yeah, I saw a lot of mid-range shots. You can blast the mid-range up there, or you can throw a fairway driver a little bit lighter.
It looks like Josh has definitely thrown a fairway driver here, and he's going to skip it up. to within 20 feet, which is a great drive.
That looked like a mid-range, just floating it right up there.
Yeah, Paul with a good shot inside the circle again. Kind of what you expect to see on this hole. You kind of expect with that big of an open gap after what these guys just played on the last hole that this is kind of relieving for them to be able to step up and throw kind of the shot of their choice. Seppo's he's far enough away to be concerned with the elevation on the basket, but again, he's a pro, so he should be able to make that. Barry with a fantastic looking shot. And
yeah, that was really good. You either want to be in front of that big tree or kind of past it like Seppo is here.
yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, great putt by Seppo. And Barry and Josh, I think, landed on top of each other there. There's discs. And great putt by Barry. You can see how monotonous he is with his, with his putting style. It's the same way every time.
Yeah, and Josh just steps up and, like you said, they were right in the same exact spot, and it's basically routine for them at this point.
If Paul can capitalize on this, we'll have a nice star frame, and he does. So these guys are going to move on, and they're looking pretty good. I mean, everybody throwing good shots. Nobody did anything out of the norm there. You expect the top cards to be getting star frames on that hole. Here you see Seppo with a great putt. Dead center change. Never even gave it a doubt of sticking. And that is one thing that you're seeing nice on these baskets is you're not going to see a lot of spit outs. You're not going to see a lot of disc going through the basket. So kudos to those guys on what looks to be a pretty good design. So we move on to hole number 4. Again, it's a hole that has a lot of teeth. It's one of those landing zones. You just got to hit the right area to have a second shot.
Yeah, and this one you can play with either a flick up that left side gap, or you can do a large hyzer flip to turn it over and land up past this middle tree.
I mean, you're trying to get your drive 320, 330 feet up this fairway and in the right spot. It's where you have that second shot. And yeah, if you can get it up there 400 in the right spot, great. But you're bringing the trees on the left and the right into play as soon as you do that, and you can pinch yourself off to not have a very good second shot. And then you have a nice rock wall on the left-hand side. Everything slopes to the right, so it is a green that's pretty quick and dangerous to get up to. So this is a hole that takes it's a good birdie. If you can walk away with a birdie on this hole, you feel really well. You can move on, and your round is going pretty well. Josh throwing a good turnover. That's going to land, in an ideal spot once again.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to have a good look, maybe a hyzer flip mid-range from there to the basket.
You just want to be just to the right. Just to the right of this kind of funky tree that you see right here that Paul just passed, and that's perfect. That is the perfect spot.
Yeah, that was beautiful. He absolutely ripped Anheuser up that hill.
He's got to be 50 feet past where Josh landed.
And Seppo, no slouch in the distance.
Yeah,
Category himself.
These guys are all playing the exact same shot. It's like totally routine to step up and throw a 400-foot hyzer flip uphill.
Through a 30-foot window.
Right.
Little low.
Yeah, Barry is not going to be happy with that.
Wow.
Again, it's all about position golf, and when you're out of position, this course is extremely difficult.
He's going to try and work his way up the fairway as best he can, but this is still a position shot.
Yeah, and a good shot out of him. He knows he can get up and down from there.
So here's that tight gap. It really bottlenecks up at the top towards the right, and he flipped it over perfectly. He just needs it to fade back.
Oh, that's good. He has a clean, open look putt. He's well inside the circle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Josh is not going to have any problem with that.
Seppo's going to be looking to do the same thing.
just throwing something stable on a nice Anheuser, and it doesn't get any better than that.
Nice drop in birdie.
Yeah. Paul going mid-range and hoping that it turns to the right and just misses those trees, and
Still
he
okay.
Yeah, he should be fine from there. Barry taking out his putter, and
Didn't seem to flip that one over enough.
yeah, but he's up there.
Still fine.
Yep, he's going to be inside the circle putting.
Ooh, a little Anheuser put around that tree.
Yeah, that was a good putt. And sometimes having something in your way like that actually kind of sets you up a little bit better. It forces you to make that shot. So I sometimes don't mind having something as a target point.
Yeah, it really makes you concentrate.
Good putt by Barry. No surprise there. He's going to walk away with the par, but a good par from where his drive was.
Right, it's a nice scramble. Nice up and down.
This is to get three in a row here for Paul. A solid putt.
I really like his release. He releases it above the rim, so he always gives it a chance to go in.
Yeah, it's a nice high release. You're right. I mean, he's got it well above that rim. Seppo making, he's making that hole look extremely easy. And again, you see,
Really working it around that tree.
yeah, Josh just has such a cool putting style. And it's all about getting comfortable with what you're doing. And you see that best in, like, the world champ Ricky Wasaki. You don't see a whole lot of people putting like him, but what he does, he's the best at. And my gosh, it works.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people try to putt like him.
Yeah, exactly. So hole number 5. Hole 5 is a tricky hole. You do have OB that is lining this left-hand side over this wall. And you've got a narrow gap to hit either with a forehand, which you're going to see a lot of people play the forehand hoping to get a skip down to the basket, and or a putter backhand or a mid-range backhand with something that's just turning over. But there is really just the danger on the left-hand side on this hole. Once you get down to the right, it opens up pretty well.
Yeah, it really seems to me if you have the forehand, that's the shot you're going to go with on this hole.
Absolutely.
You can get a skip here.
Yeah, probably didn't get too far to the right, so not bad, though, for as low as he threw that to get as far as he did. And Ulibarri is...
And just gets the nice skip down the hill.
And
absolutely parked.
Yeah, what a fantastic shot. That's all you can hope for, is to walk up and not have a putt.
Yeah, stress-free putt.
Seppo is just a little bit early there. It looked like he was just a touch inside. This is Barry's kind of golf. I expect him to do extremely well in this World Championships. He played a smart, straight shot, and now he'll have a long downhill look at it.
Yeah, making sure he stays away from the OB. If you leak right too much, you can get a bad kick left.
Obviously, I mean, he would like to be inside the circle. He probably wanted to turn that to the right. Wow. Outside circle 2, downhill. I'll give it a run.
And there's that Annie putt around the tree.
And Seppo just knew that he was going to, if he didn't make it, it was going to stay right where it was. Barry from outside with a great putt.
Unbelievable. Yeah, as long as Barry gives himself a chance, he can get the 2 no matter what.
Yeah, Barry's, I mean, he's past world champ. He's an amazing golfer, and we put nothing by him. You know, he can even as he's moved into the Masters divisions and he plays and all that, boy, Barry competes with the best in the world all the time. It's so good to see him still up on top.
And you notice how on the downhill putt, he's got that nose down to make sure he's not going over the basket.
Mm-hmm.
So if he misses, he doesn't have a very long comebacker.
Yeah, so we move on to hole number 6, which is a downhill left-hand turning, kind of a hyzer shot that you're going to see mid-range. You're going to see a fairway driver possibly thrown on here, but it is 365 feet. You do have kind of a backdrop at the green too, so you can throw kind of an aggressive shot down there, and you've got a rock wall that can stop your disc and leave you almost at circle's edge, if not inside.
Yeah, I think what you're going to see mostly on this hole are mid-ranges, just to make sure it does check up.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a lot of fairway drivers go over that rock wall.
Sure, yeah, you can get a big skip down there at the end and go flying over that wall, and then you kind of put yourself out of position for the birdie. So we'll see how these guys play this. I would assume that we're going to see a few mid-ranges, and if not, putters thrown, even on a 365-foot hole.
Yeah, absolutely. A little misrelease there.
Boy. And Barry probably throwing a rock here.
Really nice nose up, glidey. Gets a nice kick back into the fairway. He'll be putting right at the edge.
Yeah, right at circle's edge, downhill, pretty much close to the same putt that he just made. So if he was comfortable with that putt, he should be okay with this one. And we got Josh throwing another mid-range, and boy, that looks like it's on a good line. Oh, wow.
Skips right by the basket, but that's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
It gets that skip and go right over that wall.
Yeah. Just a touch aggressive. Seppo probably throwing a putter here and just unfortunately getting hung up on that branch, and that's going to leave him well outside of circle 2 with a downhill putt.
We'll see if he runs it. He's got that rock wall as a backdrop, so we'll see if he gives that one a go.
And Paul with a great touch flick shot right down to the basket.
That's got to be one of the most beautiful shots in disc golf, that slow Anheuser flick.
Yeah. Very well done by Paul. Seppo is just going to lay up his...
I think he was giving that one a run.
He could have been, but yeah. He is close enough to get his par.
Here's Barry with the same look as the last hole.
And what a great putt.
Drops it in once again.
Barry is the... he's so good at that putt. So here's Josh, and he doesn't miss very many putts. So if he's got an open look at it, that rock wall didn't, or that rock in his way didn't do all that much.
Yeah, right. He's got that high release as well, and the rock didn't give him any trouble.
Here's Paul to clean up his par with a really again a great forehand to save par there. Seppo's going to get his par as well. And this is a great shot of Barry with this nose down putt. It's not going to go very far. It's over just a perfect putt. Yeah, really, really well done.
Couldn't ask for anything better.
Yeah. These guys are going to move on to part of the course that really you start to see some teeth, where if you do get off the fairway, you can get into a lot of trouble. This hole requires you to throw an extremely straight shot. If you can get into the right landing area, then you have a good shot to get up and get your birdie. If you do go too far to the left here, you can see this grouping of trees. There is a gap to the left-hand side that you can go down as well and get up there, but you just have more trees in the way, so it's more of a crapshoot. If you just throw a dead straight shot, you definitely have a way to get up to the basket.
Right. I don't think people are really going for that left gap. If they get a bad kick and get to that gap, then they'll use it, but they're really trying to throw that, 3 300 to 350 shot.
Yeah, I mean,
down
it's
the
going to
middle.
be 350 to 375 down the middle. You're trying to get to that last short tee pad that they are building there. And then you have a really nice straight hyzering shot up to the basket if you're a right-handed player. But you have options at that point. So even a lefty or a flick or a forehand will work getting up to the basket if you just stay straight on your drive. So we'll see how these guys play it. Some people try to do cut off a little bit more by going down that left hyzer route. But again, like I said, that's how you do get into some trouble. So we'll see. I mean, this is one of the first of two par fours coming up here, where scoring the right way on these holes is very important. And these guys are starting off strong. You know, Ulibarri right now has 4 out of 6 birdies. So they're really kind of setting a precedence on scoring well on this course. And Barry's not getting off the tee the way he wants to.
No, yeah, that just slipped out of his hand a little bit. Got a bad kick to the right. This is looking good.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a good shot. It is finishing left, but a really good shot. There's the tee pad that I was talking about, where you kind of want to be.
Right, I think he'll have a nice hyzer lane up to the basket from there.
Let's see what Paul can do here. You can hear that snap out of his hand, and he is going up that left-hand side, so we'll see what kind of options he has from there.
Yeah, if he can get a good skip, he can get past a lot of those trees in there and might have a clear look.
Seppo with a fantastic looking shot. It is turning left, but boy, that went straight for a long time, so really good looking shot. Barry having the patent pinned out to...
And you see he still goes down that
Yep.
right side fairway to make sure he gets into the right
Exactly.
position.
He was trying to get near that short tee pads where he has a good play up to the basket. Where Paul is now going to have to throw a flex forehand. Oh, no, he's
little
throwing
bit
a
of a
roller. Wow, Paul. Wow. What a fantastic roller shot. I mean, he is well inside the circle. And Seppo throwing that overstable disc again. He steps up and he's throwing that on a nice anhyzer. He knows how it's going to flex. That was a really good shot out of Seppo.
Yeah, nice S, making sure he's not going too far past where he wants.
I can't get over how good Ulibarri's shot was, though. What a really good roller.
He did have some tricky footing there. He does have that hyzer gap, but it seemed like he was off balance, but still.
Yeah, great shot by these guys. You know, that's going to allow, it should allow Barry to clean up his par after being, in the worst spot off the tee box. Paul's going to have a really good birdie opportunity here with a great roller shot, which on this fairway, when you have the rocks and you have all the stuff going on, this is not a smooth grass fairway that runs up to this basket. It's rocky terrain and path, and so
Right. It's a little bit of a gamble throwing the roller, but
Oh
it
my
really
God,
worked out
yeah,
for me.
what a
Executed it very well.
Fantastic shot. Ooh, and Josh
Just
with a
catches.
good birdie had just caught that right-hand side.
But again, Josh making it look easy, just how
Well,
he drew it up.
Seppo, Josh, and Paul just made
They
this
all
hole
did it.
look extremely easy. Really, really good birdie out of all three of them. Barry with a fantastic par save from where his tee shot ended up. Probably one of my favorite holes on the course, to be honest with you. I love the way that that hole shapes up and the way that it plays. It challenges everybody. Even though they made it look easy, it's a challenging hole. And then we're gonna step up to just
This is a monster.
a brutal par 4. This is one of the newer holes here on the Brewster course, and You got to be absolutely precise off the tee. If you're not, you're in a bad position. You're basically conceding the 4 immediately
Yes.
if you don't end up in the right spot off your drive.
Yeah, you got to keep it in the fairway on this one. Making sure you climb up to the left part of the fairway is ideal.
Yeah, and it's not, once you get up into this fairway and you're trying to figure out how to throw your second shot, if you don't have a good standstill, it's extremely difficult because any type of a run-up, you're running straight uphill into soft ground and so forth, and it doesn't make it easy. As this hole matures and hopefully as you see things harden up out here, it'll be a little bit easier to play, but right now, my gosh, it's a brutal hole.
This is leaking right just a little bit too much. See if he gets a good skip back in the fairway. Great
Wow.
kick.
Yeah, really good kick to keep him in the open so he can get off a good second shot.
Slipped off the tee there.
Yeah, surprising. He did make it through and with a
Unbelievable kick. That was
great
great.
kick.
Seppo taking a different route. Hyzer gap. A little bit smaller of a gap, but if you pure it, the
That
lane's
was-
right there.
Yeah, that was ideal. He is now set up to throw a really nice shot up to hopefully get his birdie. Barry throwing something over stable and just with a really good shot. He's a little bit on that right-hand side of the fairway, so he's pinched off just a touch for his second shot. And Josh really getting into that, but he's not going to get very far up the hill. He's basically conceding his 4 at that point. We'll see what Paul can do.
Paul unleashing on this one. A nice hyzer flip. And this is way more uphill than it looks.
Yeah, but what a fantastic shot by Paul. He's going to be right at the circle's edge, putting again for another birdie, which would be just an amazing start for him.
That's an unfortunate kick. It's really hairy in there.
Yeah, Seppo obviously did not want that to happen. Barry with a great shot, just flexing it up the hill. He's putting himself probably 22 feet away.
Yeah, that was ideal.
Really good shot out of Barry.
And you can see he's just looking for the little window through some of the trees and leaves there.
I
Finds it
thought he was,
perfectly.
yeah. I mean, I thought he was going to be further away than that. That was a pretty a good upshot out of him, but he was close enough for it not to be that difficult.
Josh catches a tree there, but he should be able to get up and down there.
And Paul cashing in another birdie.
Just drops it in.
And Barry making it look routine for his birdie as well.
He just plays a perfect flex up both those shots.
Yeah, that second shot was amazing out of him, but he got his drive way up there too, and that's important. I mean, it's all about the drive. Josh is going to have to settle for par.
And not a bad par on this hole.
Mm-mm.
Again, this hole's is a monster. It takes 2 precise power throws to get up that hill.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And Paul just playing amazing golf at this point now. So now we move on again to another uphill hole.
Downhill.
I'm sorry, downhill hole. It's slightly downhill. It goes just cresting over that hillside there. You've got to throw a pretty good mid-range, almost a full power mid-range to get down to the basket.
Yeah.
A lot of people will play a fairway driver and let it go left, but this does start to slope down as soon as you get and crest this hill, and there is OB down at the bottom there, so you've got to be careful on this hole and keep something close.
Yeah, if you can land something like right where it crests and get a skip to the basket and have it settle, that's something you can look.
Yeah,
look
ideal.
for.
Ideal. But it's 375 feet. You really want to be able to throw something about 320, 325 to the top of that hill and then let it kind of filter down to the basket.
It's leaking a little left on him.
It looks okay, though. It didn't look like it hit much, and if he's pin high or if he's in that area, he's putting extremely well right now.
Yeah, he'll definitely take a run at that. Barry slips off the tee just a little bit.
And that,
Still didn't end up too bad for him considering.
yeah, left him short enough. This is one of those holes that you definitely want to have at least a putt for it too. So certainly he's disappointed in that. And Josh with a really good-looking shot off the tee.
Very nice
Just catches that last tree.
Catches that tee. I think he'll still have a putt for it, though. Yeah, he'll give that one a look.
It's a dangerous putt. We'll see what these guys do. All right, Seppo. Nice and smooth, just missing that tree.
There's that skip just at the top of the hill, and it slides down inside circle 1.
Yeah, a really good spot to be putting for birdie where he just got to without playing the hole too dangerously.
You see Barry there just pitching out that nice and nose up, making sure it lands softly. Here's Josh trying to decide if he wants to run it or not.
Yeah, he's right at that point of saying, gosh, it could
Absolute
roll
death
away so bad, so easy. It is a severe downslope.
Let's take a run at it.
Almost. Hopefully stayed right there.
And players at their level, they're thinking most likely going to hit something.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
No change necessary.
Yeah. Good birdie, though. I mean, he put himself down there for that putt. He had that tree on the left-hand side as he was looking at it, so he wanted to keep it right, just not that far right.
Right.
So here we have Barry. A pretty routine putt out of Barry. He's made quite a few of these downhill putts, so I expect him to not have a problem with this.
Once again, drops it in.
And Paul obviously got a decent kick or a decent filter back to the basket because having a 10-foot putt for birdie is pretty cool at this point. He is 7 down through 9 holes. Paul is.
That's unbelievable.
Which is on. He is on a terror right now. And we get to see Seppo's no chain required.
Keep the chains.
Yeah, that was cool. But no, super impressed for Paul right now. He is playing really, really good golf and just making moves. Josh is not doing too bad himself here. Josh is actually 6 down through 9 holes. So that's going to wrap up our Part 1 coverage of the second round. We're out here at Brewster Ridge, which is the Discraft-sponsored course this weekend. We've got a lot more coverage coming for you. Dan, we appreciate you being here doing commentary with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Absolutely beautiful course, and can't wait to come back for the second half.
Big thanks to Smuggler's Notch, to Jeff Spring and the guys putting on this amazing weekend for us to come out here and enjoy the World Championships. Tee Time Disc Golf, thank you very much for all that you do, and we will see you for Part 2.